So, we're gonna hear some of the interviews, three lovely ladies that were nice enough to speak to me. So, two of these interviews were done through phone call, one was entirely through text conversation.
I started tarot when I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
I was born and raised in a very, very Christian household, so I didn't really know about spirituality, tarot, or anything about that until I went to high school and there was social media and stuff. And so one of my friends gifted me a tarot deck, and I just started playing with it. And ever since then, I've been doing tarot. So it's been exactly 10 years. About a couple months ago, I had my 10-year anniversary. And yeah, I'm a psychic medium as well. I I mean, well, you already know. I have my own business, my own website that I run full time, and I also work full time. So, yeah.
So I have a very weird relationship with tarot. I'll mention that first. I'm from India. I have a master's in culture studies. I have another master's in religious studies from US. So I've been into this whole religion, spirituality, mysticism thing, like both professionally, academically. Also, I grew up in a very that kind of environment.
Mm-hmm.
My dad does like astrology, numerology, tarot, and a bunch of other things. So I kind of grew up watching him do that. Um, my relationship with tarot actually started in a very unhealthy way.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I struggled to deal with uncertainty. Like I just could not deal with uncertainty. So I was using it largely as a crutch initially when I started it. But then I was like, I don't know, 15 or 16 at back that time. Now it's been a decade. I'm 26 now. It was I started reading for others even back then, but it was more like okay, like friends have gathered, classmates have gathered, and let's do something fun. Surprisingly, I was accurate enough for people, and they told me to take it up professionally, but I never did.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at least at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I came across these tarot pages, and then I also came across Reddit, where you found
Mm-hmm.
me. Looking at different decks is what actually got me seriously into tarot because there are a lot of decks which are like very very beautiful. There are different schools of how do you interpret these bunch of cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I came across like the Jungian school, and then I came across Aleister Crowley's thought. By the way, the only good thing about Aleister Crowley is his deck. Everything else is shady and questionable as hell. And that whole thing like kind of got me into like a rabbit hole of studying tarot because hey, like like I study philosophy, like I have a minor in psychology and then
Mm-hmm.
history, of course. So that was like I was like, okay, this is interesting, and then I got into the rabbit hole, and then I developed a new kind of fascination relationship with tarot.
I guess I could best explain it as like an analogy. Like, I guess anybody can learn how to swim. You don't have to be like amazing at swimming to know how to swim. It's just learning the moves. But there are certain people that are amazing swimmers that are like obviously in the Olympics. So as far as tarot, anybody can learn tarot. I mean, you can buy a tarot deck off of any website. And as long as you look at the meetings, you can generally learn tarot. But in order to be a professional, in my sense, and to be someone that people gravitate towards and come back to, you really have to have your own connection with the cards. Just like if you're an Olympic athlete, you need to have your own connection with the sport to make it special. Even though I use like the same deck, I never get the same messages because everyone's really different. And even if people ask me, and they ask me a lot, like what's coming towards me in my love life or what's coming towards me in this person, it's always really different because for me, my intuition makes every answer personalized.
It's also kind of hard to know, right? Like it's just that, especially if you're on Reddit, I don't know, like, but there's just so many like people offering you free readings or even paid readings. Like I took paid readings about like a situation in my life, and then like I
Mm-hmm.
paid them like 10, 20 bucks, like dollars, and then I got when the reading came, it was obviously ChatGPT. But even in the exchange readings, it got so many AI readings. So now it's kind of hard to know what you're getting into, and there
Mm-hmm.
are just so many scammers around.
Yeah.
Every deck has a different way of representing that card. So now, like when you look at
Mm-hmm.
the RWS card, like take the Sun card for example in the RWS deck. So you
Mm-hmm.
have a white horse, you have a child sitting on it, there are sunflowers, everything is peachy, happy, nice, excellent. Now, so now a sun upright that comes and say what is working in my favor will obviously have like a very positive meaning. But if it comes as what is blocking me or is my obstacles, then the meaning drastically changes, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a lot is contextual in what you ask it. It reminds me of the Greek story of Icarus. Like
Mm-hmm.
he was told, like he was given wings, and he was like, look, these wings are made of wax. If you fly too close to the sun, you fall off.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so happy about flying in the sky that he forgot about the warning. He went too close, the wings melted off. He fell into the ocean. He drowned. He died. So when I look at that baby face sitting on a horse, it generally reminds me either of that or it reminds me of another Greek story about the son of Helios who was given the chariot to drive and
Mm-hmm.
he didn't follow the instructions and then he burned half the earth and then he went too far and there was winter and that card like always reminds me of these two stories, so I don't have a very positive relationship with that card, but other readers will probably agree with it.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that a lot of my clients, they come back so often that they're almost like a friend to me. So there does become that level of like comfortability. But in the beginning, a lot of people ask me a lot of deep shit, like about their life purpose, about their passed over loved ones. So I'm a medium, which means I can connect to people from the dead. So, that's animals, pets, angels, whatever. So a lot of people have like a lot of parents that they miss. So I get to deal with a lot of heavy stuff that a lot of people don't bring up in their day to day. I'll be honest, it is never weird for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just somebody who I know that every profile, there's a human behind it, and
Right.
everybody is really dealing with something. Like, everyone is healing from something that they don't want to talk about. So when you remember that, it just takes out all this awkwardness because we're all just looking for somebody to talk to. I think a lot of people, well, I'll even say 99% of people are afraid of themselves. They're afraid of what they truly want for their life. They're afraid of who they really are. So Reddit slash any kind of social media allows people to have like a facade up, and you get to have an avatar and you get to like have a fake name. So even though there is a lot of mass being presented, I give a lot of empathy because a lot of people are just hiding from themselves. I would say it's definitely become a lot more popularized with anyone who's like Gen Z, like 30s and their 20s. I would definitely say that I think a lot of people my age are looking for something to have hope for. And tarot, what makes it really addicting to some people is that if you look hard enough, you can see whatever you want to see.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the card says like, this card means endings, and you're like, well, me and this person get back together. If you look hard enough, you will be able to say, no, we're going to get back together. So tarot has a way of like kind of placating your feelings and making you feel better if you use it that way. So I think that's what's made it popular, is that people use it as like a coping mechanism.
Generally, the reason why most people look for a tarot reading is because they want to know if their ex is going to come back or whatever, which I do not read for. I'm like, your ex is your ex for a reason. Like, drop it. Ask me better questions, please.
If you see something that doesn't look right, see it, say it, sort it.